Boom, baby. Texas lands three-star linebacker Jonathan Cunningham out of North Crowley High School in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is a big recruitment, guys, after the past, couple weeks where we've been missing out on guys. So, again, if you are new here, hit that like button and subscribe, and we're going to jump into this. This guy is super long frame, kind of like Smith-Orogbo, which came down to Texas, about a week ago. And he can definitely put on weight, and he's going to need to. He's 6'2", 195 pounds, long, lengthy guy, athletic, very good at pursuing the football. His biggest issue to me, guys, is weight. That's what he's going to need to do here. He reminds me a lot of Maurice Blackwell. And Maurice Blackwell still needs weight. He's only like 214 pounds. So if this guy can get up to 230, I would say, so 35 pounds, then he'll be fine. Honestly, he can play all over. I think he can play inside. I think he can play outside. I think there's even a potential spot for him at safety. He might be able to fit there if we need him to be there. At this point, I would say it's linebacker, though. We have more of a need there than anywhere on the defense, in my opinion, other than obviously the interior of the defensive line. But he's going to be a good special teams player right away. That's what TCU and Utah pitched him on his early playing time. And that can kind of backfire you in recruitment, because if you're a coach of those two teams, Kyle Whittingham and Sonny Dykes, saying, hey, you can come here and play right away, that's telling the kid you're not good enough to go and play right away. It's Texas. Someone that's been recruited for a while now and is a really good player and obviously believes in himself. That's not what they want to hear. So I think that worked against him. TCU did make a late push, but they weren't able to get him. And like I said, I really like this guy. He plays super fast. He needs to work on his physicality when he does get to the ball, and he can over pursue. That's one thing you notice on film. A lot of athleticism and can over pursue. Not terribly, but just a little bit. So work on him on his fundamentals on that. Like I said, could play inside, could play outside. I see him right away as a special teamer, and then from there, it's going to be up to the coaching staff. Can Sonny or can Torrey Beckton get the weight on him? Can whoever the defense coordinator is, hopefully it's still PK, determines whatever he's best at and he starts working at it relentlessly, then I think he'll be fine. I think this is a good pickup for Texas. It pushes us to 14 commitments on the year. It pushes us into the top 20, and I'm using on three. Rivals, I believe, has him ranked as a 4-star, but pushes us into the top 20. So we're on the right track. Obviously, we have a couple more guys that could potentially come down the pipeline, so that could be very interesting as well. But overall, guys, this is a good pickup. We needed it. We have our edges in this class of Smith-Orogbo and Lance Jackson. This is our first true, in my opinion, linebacker of the class. Hopefully, Madden Faramo, or we can flip a Riley Pettijohn and get in on someone else we haven't really heard of yet. But this is a good pickup for Texas. It's going to be up to the staff. The staff has done a good job at developing so far. Let's see if they can take Jonathan Cunningham and get him to that next level. So again, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. I'm going to stop sharing. And let's talk about what could be next for the Texas Longhorns. So Monday, Nicholas Townsend, the 4-star athlete from Texas, commits. He's an athlete, tight end, wherever you look. I think he play all over, defensive end, linebacker, maybe. I think he's more of a defensive end. I think he wants to play tight end. And honestly, guys, if he wants to play tight end, you're not going to be able to force him to play defense. Defense is mostly mentality. So this is kind of like the Jatavian Sanders situation. He wanted to play tight end. You had to play him at tight end, even though honestly, I think he would have got out on the field quicker at linebacker or at defensive end because he's a freak athlete. He can bend a little bit, but overall, obviously, he made the right decision. And I think Nicholas Townsend will end up at tight end. And I think Texas is the favorite here, and Texas needs to land this guy. When we talked super blue chips a little bit ago, this guy's a super blue chip prospect. He's not just a blue chip; he is a super blue chip, upper 4-star. Potential to be a 5-star by the end of this cycle. So definitely a need there for Texas to get. Next up, 4-star wide receiver, Kelshawn Johnson. We missed out on DeCorian Moore, and DeCorian Moore, obviously, DeCorian Moore is the whole package, but what he brings especially is speed. We kind of have other guys in this class that offer different skill sets that aren't speed. Kelshawn Johnson is a burner. 5'11", 165, true burner type wide receiver that can stretch the field. So he would be a nice get because if we could land him, land Jamie French, League Lockett, that's a hell of a class. I would take that any day of the week. I'd put that up there with any wide receiver class anyone else is going to get this cycle, even without DeCorian Moore, who, guys, remember, the ink is not dry. That could be switched. We never know. Another 4-star wide receiver who I don't expect to get. I think he's on his way to Notre Dame, and I can't hate that. Really good institution as well as a football program. So I think Tanook Hines, when he announces Monday as well with Nicholas Townsend in the same gym, he will be part of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish recruiting class. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be at Texas, which sucks, but it is what it is. We tried our best there, but I do think Nicholas Townsend, we are favorites for, and I think Kelshawn Johnson, there is a chance. Texas is pushing very hard with Kelshawn Johnson and his mom. A couple other guys. 5-star offensive tackle Michael Fasusi just announced today, January 12th, just in case someone watch this a little bit later, his top 5 of Texas, A&M, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Mizzou. So I read into Jonathan Cunningham's picture when he sent out of who his top 3 were, and Texas took up the biggest part. Michael Fasusi, the 3 schools that take up the biggest part, Texas, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma, the 3 that have been talked about the most. I think those are the 3 you look out for. I think Oregon and Missouri kind of thrown in here. I will say this, though. Those 2 programs are starting to drop bags, obviously, as Texas fans know about Oregon. But also remember, Lamont Rogers went to Missouri. So watch out. I'm not counting them off. But based on the graphic, those are the 3. But, I mean, again, NIL plays a big factor in some of these recruitments. Could play a factor here. Oregon and Missouri are not to be messed with. And then 5-star athlete, again, another athlete, Michael Terry III. Down to 4 guys, Oregon, Nebraska, Texas, and Texas A&M. It's so weird because Oregon jumped in this mix too. They have pitched running back. Texas has pitched more of we'll get on campus and see what happens. A&M has pitched the same thing. Nebraska has pitched wide receiver. So honestly, it's whatever position he wants to fulfill is where he'll go. If he wants to be a running back, he'll go to Oregon. If he wants to be a wide receiver, if he's stuck on that, he'll go to Nebraska. If he's open to it, he'll pick Texas or Texas A&M. I personally think if he's open to it, he ends up picking Texas. If he picks Nebraska or Oregon, that's what will happen. It'll be because of the position. I don't know about this one. We'll see. I'm very confident in Nicholas Townsend, and maybe it will break during our show Monday. If not, we'll talk about it after. If it breaks, obviously we'll jump in and we'll talk about it then because he's one of those upper echelon guys that we would love to have in the class. It'd be really cool to get Michael Terry III. I think, honestly, would end up playing somewhere else because Nicholas Townsend will be a tight end. We already have Emory Winston as a tight end. 3 tight ends I don't think is going to happen in this class, but who knows? Again, guys, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football on the Texas channel. Hit that like button, as it says down below. Hit that subscribe button. Hook 'em, guys, and welcome 3-star linebacker Jonathan Cunningham. Hook 'em, guys.